Welcome to the Big Success Show. Today, 360-degree goal setting. Brought to you by FinancialFreedomTool.com. Plenty of money for life.
Tips to be your best with the professor and Mary-Lynn for your big success.
360 degree. That's kind of hard to say, Mary.
Yeah,
360
just say
degrees.
360. That's
360. Yes, there you go. Not 180, 360. 360 degree goal setting helps you set holistic goals by bringing together the three facets of big success: personal, professional, and financial success. Hi, I'm George Kruger, aka in some circles, the professor.
360-degree circles?
Yes, there you go.
And I'm Mary-Lynn. And, we just got done with a nice long holiday weekend. It was Labor Day here in the U.S. And, that signals the end of summer. Fall is coming. And there's always this real cool feeling with fall coming. You just you get more energy, right?
Yes.
More energy to do more things.
And I think, to me, it goes all the way back to when I was a kid. You remember, the summer vacation. Can't wait for summer vacation. Oh, man, it's so great. We get to play all day, every day, and then all of a sudden school started to get close. And at first, though, it's kind of exciting. It's like, oh, I'm going to go back to school. I get to see everybody every day. That'll be fun. Then about a week later, it's like, oh, I wish I was on summer vacation.
Yeah.
But anyway, for a grand total of about a week there, I felt really motivated to do schoolwork. Now, seriously, though, doesn't it seem like the kids go back to school and don't we adults kind of also maybe have this sense of like, okay, time to get back to work.
Summer's over, the lazy days of summer. Let's kick it in gear and let's step it up a notch.
Which is why we're kind of thinking that September is the new January. September is the beginning of the new year, truthfully.
Right.
Because I think we've got all this time to build up before the new year. And, everything that's going to happen will happen. We'll set our New Year's resolution. But we can get a jump on that by doing it now.
And then there's also kind of just a little bit of a kick in the butt that, oh my goodness, the year is almost over.
Yes. Time to get it in gear. Yeah. Get in gear, George.
I better do it. So today we're going to talk about 360-degree goal setting and how that can help you get some of your big goals accomplished. Now, there are three facets of 360-degree goal setting. Let's go over those again.
So the three facets of big success are personal success, professional success, and financial success. We'll explain all those in just a second, but let's kind of just talk about the three together. 360-degree goal setting considers all three of these simultaneously. That's the key part, because it's the key to actually having holistic goals, is to consider them together. Not just sit down and make one goal for one area of your life, but to think about the three areas of your life and set goals that help you with all of them.
And so there's no particular order with these, right? Not the one isn't more important than the other?
Not really, although I tend to think of it as a triangle, and I put personal at the top, because I think personal success is really ultimately what you have to achieve.
It's where it all begins.
Right. And
base.
ends, right? So, and then I tend to like to think about professional on the left-hand side for whatever reason. I think it's because we tend to read left to right, and I think professional, my career plus my businesses, that kind of thing, are leading to the financial, and that forms the base for ultimately achieving my personal success. So that's how I tend to look at it, Mary-Lynn.
Okay.
Other people may look at it differently.
Yeah, all right. I'm down with your triangle, Professor.
Well, thank you.
So should we limit the number of goals we've got that are in this triangle?
Well, we encourage you to do, because we can only manage so much. Your attention can only go so far. And when your attention gets diluted, nothing happens, or only bad things happen. And so what we encourage you to do is think with each area. Pick your most important goal, your top goal for each of the three. One personal goal, one professional goal, and one financial goal. And when you do that, it doesn't mean that you start with that. You may have 5 goals in each area to start, but it's a matter of looking at those goals and really winnowing them down to say, okay, this is my true priority. This is what I need to work on. And keep in mind, we're not saying you work on these for the rest of your life. We work on this goal until we get it accomplished, and then we work on another one, and then another one, and another one.
So let's break down each of the three facets here for setting your 360-degree goal. So the first one is personal success. What exactly does that mean?
Well, personal success is really all about becoming the best human being you can possibly become. And I think the way we look at it, it's building stronger relationships with God, with your family, with your loved ones, and with yourself. Yourself is included in this, very important, but you should love others as you love yourself, as we've learned. And so, when we're thinking about ourselves, we also need to think about others.
And so maybe a goal is, okay, how can we always put ourselves kind of on the back burner, don't we? With all of the other responsibilities in life. So maybe a goal is to meditate or exercise or something. Make sure that becomes a habit, a daily habit.
And so, like a good one, Mary-Lynn, would be you want to try to be as quantitative as you can. So, like maybe not just I will exercise for 15 minutes a day, I will exercise every day. I will exercise for 15 minutes every day, or I will meditate for 5 minutes every day. Or, another example might be my spouse and I will go on a date every week. So something like that. Those are some examples of personal goals. I mean, there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of potential personal goals.
And so we've stated our goal. We've made it quantifiable.
Yes.
Is there a time frame that we need to include?
Absolutely, which is the other part of it. So we need not only ideally a somewhat quantifiable goal, but also a deadline, a due date, whatever you want to call it, by which we want to achieve it, because that keeps us pushing towards the mark.
All right. So then we'll move on now to professional success. So we've taken care of personal success. Now we need to set a goal for professional success. And what exactly does that mean?
Well, so this is really all about shining in your chosen career. Now, some people, they're very happy just putting in the time, getting their paycheck, doing a fantastic job, but that's it. And that's okay. I mean, that's your goal. And maybe they have a hobby or they have a family or something that's more important. That's all well and good. This factors that in. But it's really all about shining in your career to the extent that you want to. And, you may be employed. You may work for somebody else. You may be self-employed. You're your own boss. That's great.
Or your goal may be to become your own boss.
Your goal could be to become your own boss. But you also could be in a situation like so many are these days where we have kind of a portfolio career. We maybe work for somebody, but we also have a side hustle or, whatever it may be. Maybe I have a business that is my full-time occupation. But, this is me. I teach a class at our local university part-time.
AKA the professor.
Yes, there you go. So I mean, whatever your situation, this is all in the professional realm.
So set a professional goal. Maybe it's that you want to learn a new skill. Maybe you want to learn how to write some code. Or maybe there's a project. You want to be a project leader at work so that you can stand out and be able to show your boss your leadership skills. So whatever it is, again, you want it to be quantifiable. Yeah,
to the extent that you possibly can. I mean, you're not going to take 2 classes on coding. You're going to take 1.
Right.
So that would be an example. Or I'm going to lead one project. Try to make it quantifiable. But in some cases, like lead a project that kind of implies 1.
Okay. And then again, as we did with the personal, we want to make sure that we set a time frame.
Absolutely. So for example, I will take a class by, and complete it by the end of the spring semester would be an example.
All right. So now we move on to the third facet of our 360-degree goal setting, and that's setting our goal for financial success.
For money, money, money. Yes. And so this is really all about effective management of your inflows, your outflows, and your investments. So what's your top financial goal? That's what we're trying to discover. And some examples of that could be, I'll ask my boss for a 5% raise. Now you notice we didn't say I'm going to get a 5% raise. We said we're going to ask your boss. Now you're going to do everything you can to get that 5% raise, but ultimately it's not controllable. And our goals have to be something we do have some control over. Okay, so just understand that as part of the goal setting process as well. Another example might be I'm going to find a way to cut our expenses at home by 5%. That could be a goal as well as getting a raise. So that's kind of the same effect when you really look at it. So those are some examples. Oh, another one, Mary-Lynn, could be a good one. I'm going to contribute to my 401k up to the level that my employer matches. If you're not doing that, I mean, you're throwing away free money. That would be a really important priority. Now, you got to decide, is this my top one? But, that would be a very important one for you to keep in mind.
And then again, we want to set a due date for our financial goals.
Yeah, so let's just use the 401k as an example. Maybe you just look at it and you say, man, financially, we just cannot do that right now. Well, come up with a plan and say, okay, you know what? Over the period of the next 90 days, we can find these expenses that we can get rid of or reduce. And if we can do that, then I can start putting that full money to the 401k. Of course, along the way, you could be adding to it, as well. But the point is, Now we've got a date by which we're going to really strive to hit that goal.
All right. And actually, you're setting kind of a different goal, which is to cut the cost.
In a way, yes. That some of these goals become almost like a sub-goal of the bigger goal.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Moving on then, we're going to talk about 2 critical questions that you need to answer about your 3 goals here, your 3 facets of the 360-degree goal setting. But first, a word from our sponsor, financialfreedomtool.com. Plenty of money for life.
Do you feel doubt when making money decisions? Let the Financial Freedom Tool be your decision-making guide 24/7, 365 days a year, so you can make your next money moves with confidence. Learn more at financialfreedomtool.com.
Today, we're talking about 360-degree goal setting. This is setting holistic goals for your personal, professional, and financial success. So now, Professor, we're to the point where there are 2 critical questions that we need to ask ourselves to get an edge for achieving these goals. And the first question is, why?
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 It is. It's why. This is such an important point. You know, goal setting is actually very easy to do. It's easy to do. I mean, a lot of people don't really set goals, but when you think about how ridiculously easy it is, you realize how silly it is to not set goals, okay? But goal getting, that's the tough part. So you need a compelling reason to keep pushing toward your goals when the going gets tough.
Or when the temptation to stray off of the diet that you said.
The narrow path, yes.
When that temptation comes along that tries to get you off track of the diet goal that you set.
Yes.
That will help you not go for the brownie.
This is true, Mary-Lynn. And I guess I want to add at this point, we're not talking about the letter Y. We're talking about W-H-Y. Yes, Y. And the thing is, a powerful why is needed for your 3 whats. Your whats are your 3 top priorities. Your top personal, your top professional, and your top financial goal. You need a powerful why for each of those, or for that group, is what we're really saying. When I look at these 3 goals, why is it so important for you to achieve those 3 goals? Having that understanding is going to keep you pushing forward when, like you said, Mary-Lynn, that temptation hits, or it's just hard, or I said I wanted to exercise every day and it's raining outside and it's nasty. What am I going to do? Okay, I'm going to have to go to plan B. I mean, the whys are what keeps you driving forward when the whats have kind of lost their luster.
All right. And we do have a helpful post on finding your why. You'll find a link to it in the show notes with this podcast episode today. So now the second question that you need to ask yourself, the second critical question you need to answer about your 3 goals is, are your goals in harmony with each other?
Yeah, so ideally, your goals work together, right? So reaching one goal helps you move toward another goal. That's the ideal situation. And an example of this would be like, you know, if maybe that project we talk about you leading, you do that successfully, well, now I can probably ask my boss for that raise, that 5% raise, and I'm going to be much more likely to get it because I got something to talk about, right? I got something tangible with proven results that I can talk about. But other goals may at times be in conflict. So here's an example, Mary-Lynn. Let's just say you and I decide we're going to do a date night every Thursday. Okay? But we've
sounds good.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? But we've got, our other important goals. And one of those goals may be to launch a new product. Well, as you and I both know, launching that new product is a pretty major endeavor.
Right.
And so that's going to take a lot of time.
I'm going to need that Thursday evening to do some work, George.
Exactly. And so what we have to do is we have to say, okay, no, here's the deal. This really is important to us. We are going to make time, but then here's how I'm going to find it for the rest of the week. And George is not going to be able to bug me the rest of the week about going out to dinner. No, I'm kidding. The point is that we compromise and we find ways to make them work. But here's the key. We're expecting, we're seeing the conflict. We're seeing the obstacles right up front with clear eyes. We're not in the middle of everything trying to figure it out. We're seeing it as we plan it. And so now that we've planned it, when it happens, when we run into that inevitable obstacle, we've either already taken care of it, or we can take care of it much more easily.
So 360-degree goal setting is setting holistic goals for your personal, professional, and financial success.
Yep.
And you want to make sure that you know the answer as to why you've set those goals and if they are in harmony with each other.
That's right, Mary-Lynn, and it all leads to big success.
This whole idea about 360-degree goal setting may seem a bit overwhelming just because it's all rolling around in your head right now. Well, we have a way to simplify all of this for you. We've created a one-page cheat sheet that guides you through this 360-degree goal setting process that we discussed today. You can get your copy now. It's absolutely free, so you can start improving all 3 facets of your life. The link to the cheat sheet is in the show notes with your podcast episode, or just go to Big Success, that's big with 2 G's, success.com.
And we thank you so much for listening today.
Until next time,
Here's to your big success.
Tips to be your best with a Professor and Mary-Lynn for your big success.
Find Big Success at BIGGsuccess.com.